Okay, so today's lesson is on perimeter. So to calculate the perimeter of any polygon, you have to measure the length of each side, or the measurement will be given, and then you would add up all of those lengths together. All right, so for example, let's say if we were looking at this rectangle, the perimeter of this would be adding up all four sides together. All right, so for example, if this was given to us like this, and we had 3.7 centimeters, and we have these two sides here given to us as 1.8 centimeters. Okay, so recall that anytime you have the slashed or the dashed sides, that means that these two measurements are going to be the same. Then we have a double dashed line here and here. That means these two measurements are going to be the same. All right, so calculating the perimeter of this rectangle, you would just add up all four sides. So perimeter would be equal to 3.7 plus 3.7 plus 1.8 plus 1.8. All right, so adding up all four sides, and you just put that in your calculator. And I get 11. So 11 centimeters. So recall as well that perimeter, because it's a length, it's a linear measurement, your unit will just be whatever unit was used as the unit for the sides. Okay, so our next example is from your module 11.1, and you're given a polygon here. It's four-sided as well, but all three sides have a different measurement. So similarly to what we did with the rectangle, you just need to add up all four sides. So we have 3 hectometers, 5 hectometers, 4.7 hectometers, and 4.8 hectometers. So all you're going to do is add up all four sides to give you your answer of 17.5 hectometers. So next we're going to look at perimeter formulas. So the first one we'll look at is a square. And the formula for the perimeter of a square is 4S, where S represents the measurement of a side. Okay, so that's what S represents. Represents here is the side measurement. All right, so for example, we have a square here, and we know a square has all four sides are the exact same. So if we are given 8.3 centimeters, you can just use your formula here, which is P equals 4 times 8.3. Instead of adding 8.3 plus 8.3 plus 8.3 plus 8.3, the formula is 4 times the measurement of the side. All right, so that gives us 33.2 centimeters for the perimeter of that square. All right, next is a rectangle. And the formula for a rectangle is P equals 2L plus 2W. And here the L represents length, the W represents width. I'll write that out here, length and the width. All right, so if we have an example here, here is our rectangle. Those two sides will be the same, and these two sides will be the same. And let's say we've given 5.3 decimeters and 16 decimeters here. So using the formula, this is our width and this is our length. So our formula is going to be P equals 2 times our length, which is 16, plus 2 times our width, which is 5.3. All right, so using your laws, your BEDMAS or order of operations, you do your multiplication first. So you'd have 32 plus 10.6, and then you'd add those together to give you a perimeter of 42.6 decimeters. All right, so next we're looking at perimeter of a rhombus. The formula is P equals 4B, and usually the B represents base. So if we have a rhombus here, it's basically a tilted square, like so, and each side is still the same measurement. And let's say we're giving it 9 meters for the side. So P equals 4B, so it will be 4 times 9, which is 36 meters. The next one is a parallelogram. Parallelogram. And a parallelogram is basically a tilted rectangle. So basically it looks like this. And so these two sides are the same, and these two sides are the same. And the formula for a parallelogram is P equals 2B plus 2S. All right, so base and side, so that's what the B and the S represent. So let's say here we're given 15.3 and 3.1 kilometers. All right, so substituting those into the formula, 2 times 15.3 plus the side is 3.1, so 2 times 3.1. So just like when we did the rectangle, make sure you do the multiplication first. So this would be 30.6, and this is 6.2, and then add them together, and we get 36.8 kilometers. All right, and the last one is a trapezoid in this section of quadrilaterals. We'll look at triangles right after. So a trapezoid looks something like this, where it has two bases. Okay, these two bases are parallel. That's why you see these arrows. That's what it means. They're equidistant from each other. They're parallel. They're not the same measurement. All right, so in this case, the formula is base 1 plus base 2 plus side 1 plus side 2. And the bases are the two sides that are parallel to each other. So this would be a base, and this would be a base. So let's say our measurements given are 10 millimeters, 5 millimeters, 14.7 millimeters, and 7 millimeters. All right, so normally, because it's perimeter, you would just add up 4 sides, which is what is actually happening in the formula as well. This is just to get used to, it's getting used to what each side is represented as in a formula. So this is base, and this is base, side, and side. All right, so base 1, we can say it's 14.7. Base 2 is the 10. Side 1, 7, and side 2, 5. All right, and then we just add those 4 together, and we get 36.7 millimeters. All right, so next we're going to look at perimeter formulas for triangles. The first one is a scalene triangle. So recall, a scalene triangle is a triangle that has 3 sides that are all different measurements. All right, so in this case, the perimeter formula for the scalene triangle would just be side 1 plus side 2 plus side 3. All right, so 17 plus 7 plus the 14. And we get 38 hectometers. So that's a scalene triangle. The next type of triangle is an isosceles. Isosceles triangle. And this is the type of triangle that has 2 equal sides. Okay, and usually that will be represented like this, showing that those two sides are the same and these two angles are the same. All right, and let's say our measurements are 9 decameters and then 6 decameters there. So the formula is P equals the base plus 2S, which makes sense. There's a base and there's two sides that are the same. Okay, so plugging that into the formula, we get 9 plus 2 times 6, which is 9 plus 12, which is 21 decameters. All right, so that's the isosceles triangle. And the last is the equilateral triangle. And the biggest hint here is the equal here, meaning all three sides are going to be the same. All right, so equilateral triangle, all three sides are the same. Let's say we're given 14.5 millimeters. P is equal to 3S. That is the formula for an equilateral triangle. So 3 times 14.5, which is 43.5 millimeters. So here we have a regular hexagon, meaning it has 6 equal sides and 6 equal angles. The formula for a regular hexagon for the perimeter is NS. The N represents a number of sides, and the S still represents the measurement of the side. So the side measurement. All right, and that's what you'll see when we get into area as well. That N represents a number of sides. All right, so P equals NS. So in this case, the number of sides is 6. And the side measurement in this case is 8.2 centimeters. So 6 times 8.2, and we get a perimeter of 49.2 centimeters. All right, next, if we were looking at for example, a regular pentagon, pent is 5 sides. That is what penta stands for. So 5-sided figure, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But I didn't draw it to scale, but all 5 sides are the same and angles are the same as well. Okay, that's what regular means when we talk about these polygons. All right, so in this case, it's still P equals NS, right? But number of sides this time, there's 5 sides. And let's say the measurement is 9.3 decimeters. So P equals number of sides is 5, and the side measurement is 9.3. All right, and then you would just multiply those out and get 46.5 decimeters.